10. Today is the final day of the 14th South African Communist Party's National Elective Congress out in Boksburg in Ekurhuleni. The Communist Party is expected to make pronouncements on whether it will break away from the tripartite alliance and contest the elections independently. The South African Communist Party says socialism remains as relevant in today's modern world as it was in its formative years. The SACP says communism continues to grow and is winning new supporters among the world's youth. The Communist Party warns that the ever-widening gap between developed and emerging economies is facing many nations, especially in Africa, to share jobs in response to rapid mechanization as well as huge budget deficits.
Formed in 1921, the South African Communist Party began as the Communist Party of South Africa. From the onset, the SACP sought to live up to its billing as Africa's first Marxist-Leninist party. It was launched after the Red Revolution of 1921, and it grew to be the second oldest political organization in South Africa. In the early years, the party characterized itself as a militant organization steeped in revolutionary socialist activism. Initially, the party attracted and accepted only white workers. In 1922, it flexed its political muscle for the first time by organizing what was then termed the most militant white workers' strike. 1924 ushered in the Africanization of the SACP as stalwarts J.B. Marx and Johannes Ngosi joined the ranks. 1927 marked a pivotal moment in the party's history as its long-standing bonds with the ANC were forged. That's when communist leader J.T. Gumede was also elected African National Congress president. On the international front, the Communist International Movement's 6th Congress resolved to transform the ANC into a fighting nationalist revolutionary organization. In the 1930s, factionalism crept in for the first time, leading to the International Communist Party expelling veterans, including SP Bunting. This coincided with the birth of the All Africa Convention, a forerunner of the tripartite alliance. The party has gone on to produce highly regarded leaders such as Moses Kotane and Govan Mbeki. Mbeki would later introduce his son, former President Thabo Mbeki, to the Communist Party. Other renowned stalwarts include Joe Slovo and the late charismatic revolutionary Chris Hani.
Forward to socialism, forward! Forward to communism, forward! Aluta! Aluta! Continua!
Sadly, Hani never lived to see the official end of white minority rule. He was gunned down outside his Boksburg home on the eve of South Africa's first democratic election.
Fortunately, we are on the verge of destroying this criminal system, and we are prepared to set up a system, a government, a democratic government.
International front, the party has forged strong relations across the globe.
Of the 14th Congress of the South African Communist Party, dear comrades, on behalf of millions of Russian Communist Party members and supporters, I extend to you our heartfelt feelings of solidarity and sympathy on the occasion of your important party forum.
The relations between our people date back many decades, and that's when we started our link with national liberation movements across Africa.
Se estrecharon, por supuesto, los vínculos con los movimientos de liberación nacional de toda el África.
¡Viva the Bolivarian Revolution of Venezuela! ¡Viva! Thank you, comrades. I want to take the opportunity to convey a message on behalf of the Socialist Party of Venezuela.
Comrades, the People's United Democratic Movement, the progressive forces, and the entire suffering Boer masses of Swaziland congratulate the South African Communist Party.
China also continues to be a staunch global ally. And as the SACP holds its 14th National Congress, its international friends have recommitted to continue supporting the SACP. that is fast becoming more reliant on mass mechanization in favor of job creation. The SACP says communism and socialism is one way to buck this trend.
This has been happening worldwide. I mean, in Latin America at some point for a period of a decade, we've seen a progressive government taking over, coming into being in Bolivia, in Nicaragua, Ecuador and so forth, Venezuela, and just even in Brazil. Of course, now the Brazilian revolution has been reversed by the right wing, particularly the role of the judiciary there that is playing a very, very reactionary role. The same in the Middle East, for instance, good changes that are taking place. But the reality is the fact that the capitalist system is in crisis. And therefore, because of that, it is easier at the moment to mobilize the working class to fight for their rights, to fight for themselves.
The SACP plans to send a delegation to the Red Revolution centenary celebrations in Moscow, Russia, in November 2017. Dumala Muhlaudi, SABC News, Boksburg.